Ye was just announced to have joined Evil Geniuses for 2025 alongside Sim from TSM. I'm going to briefly go over my thoughts and if this team can even be good, and then I want to talk about Ye specifically and if he can even come back after the last 2 years. The roster will be Ye, who will be the designated sentinel player, Derek, who will mainly play scan initiator, Nature, who will IGL and play flex, and Superman, who will go back to playing smokes full time while Sim is the primary duelist. Ye is a pretty big upgrade over Apoth, but firstly I want to say that the EG core of Derek, Nature, and Superman, plus Potter as the coach, is extremely solid for a foundation. Potter has obviously done God's work for her players in the past. I'm not sure if Evil Geniuses has some type of dirt on her or something. I'm truly not sure how they have acquired her for this long, but I'm pretty excited about the Ye and Sim pickups. I think Ye is still a top player mechanically, and I think this new role suits him well. On attack, he'll probably be able to take more individual fights, be left in clutches more often where things like aim are really important. We saw this in 2022 when he was on Optic, him and Marved, these aim heavy players always in the clutch. We also saw this with 2023 EG, players like Demon 1 who are heavily favored in the clutch and created some legendary moments specifically because of their aim.
The gap though, you gotta respect this man. A danger! A danger!
So I think this is overall a positive thing. I want to talk about the addition of Sim, who was previously on TSM, who weren't a great team in 2024, but Sim was definitely a standout player on that roster. I'm super curious to see what Potter can do with a player like Sim, and even a player like Ye, who's already been the GOAT at one point in time. It's kind of like a buff. These players who you don't really care about that much are now under the wing of a coach like Potter, and all of a sudden I'm super curious to see what they can do. Now, I made a video ranking America's teams based on roster leaks, and I put EG at number 8, which you could check out, but would I move them up at all? Probably 1 or 2 spots. I think I'd maybe put them above C9 now, but honest to God, I think this team has a ceiling of like top 4 to 5. Please comment what kind of ceiling you think this team has. Hopefully they make some international events. I think Sim is still unproven at this level, and I'm super curious to see what he can do. Obviously, from a bird's eye view, he's a major downgrade from Jogimo, but truthfully, Jogimo's a top 3 duelist and was kind of bottlenecked on this team last year in my opinion. So I'm very curious to see what the discrepancy in the performances will be like. I actually don't think there will be a major difference in their performances, hot take perhaps. I think it's kind of funny how EG have stumbled upon a good roster again, like they will probably be middle of the pack, above some of the Brazilian teams and NA teams potentially, even with them being not very willing to pay for good players, obviously with them trying to exit Valorant at the first chance they get. On the bright side, EG has become kind of like a gateway org for tier 2 players to prove themselves in franchising, just by the nature of them not wanting to spend money on talent. Now that I've spoken about EG as a whole, I want to go over Ye specifically because the last 2 years have obviously not been great for him. Firstly, I would blame a large part of the descent on C9, hot take perhaps. After he got kicked out, it seemed like he really just wanted to play on a team and compete, which led him to join DSG initially.
Yeah, what's up?
You want to join DSG?
Yeah, sure, why not?
And you have to remember the weight of the world was on this guy during this time. He just wants to win, going down to tier 2 when no pro has ever done that at the height of their career. I actually think there's a lot of crossover with how NRG played Demon 1 with how these lower tier teams played Ye. They're just being played fundamentally wrong. Obviously you expect these great players to be versatile, but the truth is they're just not, and you have to play them to their strengths. And later it would come out that there were internal issues.
What? Fuck, I'm dogging. I'm back. I'm gonna throw.
Which, let's be honest, you couldn't have thrown Prime Aspas on that team and made them good. Now for Bleed, obviously that was an uphill battle as well, with the internal issues between players. We've never seen a tier 2 team come into franchising and be good. Outside of G2, who, let's be honest, they were never a tier 2 team. They competed in Ascension, but have always been regarded as a tier 1 team, or at least the core of Valen, Trent, and Jonah P. I'm not even going to get into the health issues that Ye had spoken about, but I truly believe that Ye could be a top player still, no doubt in my mind. He seems focused, he wants to play. I think although EG is not a top team or org, it seems like a like-minded group of people, especially with Potter at the helm. I think that's all that really matters. You can throw 5 of the best players together, and if they don't get along, it doesn't matter.
What about everyone else? Nah, I like Austin and Victor. That's it. There's 3 other guys.
I'm going to make this prediction now. This EG roster, Ye, Sim, Nature, Derek, and Superman, will have a better year than Team Vitality, who is Durkee safe, less kicks, and Trex. That's my prediction. Let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I said, and yeah.